Hello and welcome back to Model Maker Dave's workshop. Today we'll have an update for the T62. Now I've started the weathering process, the weathering, the giving it the used and abused look. Before I put anything on, I did give the hull a mist coat of clear just to protect the base coat paint so that it didn't go through. And then I've used my own brown wash, which Lord, I can't even remember what I used to make it. I know I used the Abteilung oils, but I don't think it's necessarily just brown that's gone in there. I think it's a couple of things, but for the love of God, I can't remember what it is. And then over that I used my own black wash, which is the same again, the Abteilung oils mixed with Artist's odourless thinners for both of them, and liberally just slapped it all over just to give it a slightly dulled, dirty look. Then with a mixture of some rust pigment and some Russian earth at the front, just in this area here. I haven't gone further back yet. I'm still working on it. Now I've given it just a light brush over, just to give it a not such a used in the field, more of it's been outside and it's got dirty, but it's not been through the field, so to speak. Maybe, if that works. So I've used those two. I've used a little bit of fuel stains for around the fuel cans or the tanks, fuel tanks. Then done some dry brushing around the edges with some oily steel, just to make it look like it's been pulled through a hedge backwards, and some new paint, well, the paint has been just freshly pulled off, so you're exposing just a little bit of the metal underneath, and then I shall carry on doing some other chippings and generally making it look filthy. I'm not sure about the rust streaks. I don't know if I've gone a bit too heavy or if that's about right, but from where I'm looking at it, it's not too bad. I might have gone a bit heavy round here, but I don't know. It is looking. It's definitely got that used feel about it. Now, I've done. When I say I've done the tracks, I've partially done the tracks, and you'll see what I mean. The four ends I've done, but this middle section I haven't done, and I haven't painted anything here either, and some of you will probably think, well, bloody cheat. Oh, yeah, I am. But when it sat down like that, and if I hadn't turned it over and I hadn't told you about it, you wouldn't have known anything about it. I've still to paint the spade and the handle. And I think I'm going to do something, because this is actually a piece of metal grid that's gone in. So I'm going to do something there, because it was painted black. It's probably black and slightly green now, or green and slightly black. And I'm also going to try and work out how to get some fuel lines to come out of here, and I presume they will enter in here somewhere. Not entirely sure. Maybe someone can help me on that one. But that's the hole. I'm still gonna do some more because I just want it to be a little bit more dirty. I'm going to use some more of this Russian earth over these top bits just to dirty it down a little bit more. But it has got, or I feel it's got, a rather used look. Well, if you look at the front, it is quite used. I've just noticed that I haven't gone along here. It might help if I do that as well. Yeah, otherwise it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. So for the hull or the bottom part of the tank, yeah, it's looking. I'm quite pleased with it actually. I've still got to dirty the wheels and do some along at the back, but yeah, it's getting that. Well, I don't know about filthy dirty. I think it's more scruffy and unkempt, I think, is probably a better way of putting it. Yeah, I think scruffy and unkempt. It's going to be a scruffy tank, not a dirty tank. It's going to be a scruffy and slightly filthy, used and abused. Excuse me. So that's the base of it. Now, the hull, oh, not the hull, the turret is the same as the base. I've gone over it with a light coat of clear, and then I'll put the decals on. Now the next bit is just to try and put some scratches and maybe knock some corners off the figures as well, and here on both sides, just so it gives it that drag through a hedge backwards. There is one more part that's got to go on the gun, but it's a small part. It goes in here, and I'm going to leave that right until the end, and it's going to be the same with the machine gun. The machine gun sits in here, but I haven't put it on yet because Clumsy Klutz here will knock it off and it will go flying. So we'll leave those two. That definitely will go in last because it's a tiny little part, and the machine gun will go in last as well. Now, figure. I've started this one off. Now, I'm having thoughts of this one, this side, and maybe another on that side if I've got time, because I've got to get this done by the end of the month. So I'm pushing on a little bit with it. Now the whole of the figure is not going to get used because when I've stood this one in there, he's quite high up, so he's going to have part of his legs cut off. So I'm going to have to get the axle out for that one and off with his legs. So I think I'm going to put another coat of black grey on his jacket, and then I shall start going over it just to give it some highlight. I've put some, I don't know if you can see, but where the goggles are, I've now put a piece of 1mm masking tape to represent the strap that would hold the goggles in place. So we'll have to pick that out. I'll probably pick it out in the same colour as the trousers. And put a little bit of clear or something in there just to represent the reflective of the glass in the lenses. So that's that. And the second figure might come along, or it might not. It depends on how much time I've got and how quick he gets done and I get onto this. However, going back to the base of the tank, I have had great fun in doing the weathering. It's one of the things that I do like doing is making it look a little bit dirty and giving it that used look about it, because if you do it just straight out the box and it looks all too clean, and yeah, just no, that doesn't look right in my opinion. It's something that's used out and about in the fields and wherever, so therefore it's got to have some muck and filth on it. Otherwise, it's just not, it's just not right. So, for the chipping, I've used a bit of German track black from Vallejo Panzer Aces, but I've also used a mixture, of these two, NATO black and NATO brown. 1 part black to about 3 or 4 parts of the brown, and it comes up and it does look rather good. It's more on the front end that I've used it. I don't know if you can see. The other thing, I have used the sponge technique. I'll put a bit of foam off or something and dipped it in and just randomly gone over, so that should give it a little bit more depth. It's just taking your time. It's something that you can't rush, and I don't think you should rush, because otherwise it just won't look very good. But there's no reason why you can't do a little bit of chipping and also do a little bit of dry brushing as well, because that also helps, because it gives that appearance of edges being rubbed on plant life and bushes and branches and whatever, and wearing the paint thin. The same with the boots and whatever going all over it. So I think for now, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to carry on making this a bit more mucky, a bit more filthy. I've still got the turret to do, so maybe get on with that tomorrow. See how I feel. So it remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. If you haven't, then please subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.